Hello and welcome to the Motocross Network. In this video, we're doing something new. I figured, what better start than Anaheim 1? This is called Qualifying Report. Basically, what this is I watched 3.5 hours of qualifying, so you don't have to, and I'll tell you everything important in like 3 to 5 minutes. So let's start this video off with something that actually happened on press day yesterday. So Jett Lawrence, everyone saw he does have that cool purple background, the gold number or whatever. For Super Motocross, that's not the important thing. Anyway, he did what they were calling the Cinco jump, or a quintuple, so 5 in 1. That happened in press day yesterday. It was pretty impressive. I'll throw that up on screen right now. I think it was Jacob Hayes. He works with him in some way. I don't know if he's a business partner or what, or friends, just friends maybe. But Jacob Hayes caught this footage. I'll throw it up on screen as I said. Obviously, super impressive. Wicked cool to see. A typical Jett thing to do. But unfortunately today, Dirtworks changed the landing. I guess the AMA official said it was a little too dangerous, so that jump is gone now. They extended the last part of it just a little bit, a few feet, just to make it impossible so that nobody else would do it, and obviously to deter Jett from doing it again. On top of that, we also have the second Lawrence brother, Hunter. He crashed pretty hard yesterday and got lucky on that one. I figured I'd show you that too. Another press day thing, not related to this, but I figured I'd show you. It gives you more context in case you didn't see it. I'll throw that up on screen right now. It could have been pretty gnarly. He got lucky to walk away from that one. Maybe he was riding over his head, maybe just a little uncomfortable on the 450 yet, but lucky he walked away on that one. Now let's finally get into today's qualifying report. We started off the day with the 250 class qualification. The first one, it was kind of all over the place at first. The numbers were popping all over the map. There were guys that you typically wouldn't see up there, but quickly they got locked in a normal formation. Honestly, it was pretty impressive. Jordon Smith came out in first. I think it was midway through he popped up to first place overall in times. He looked pretty smooth out there. Obviously, he's a veteran 250 class rider and almost won a championship. I think it was back in 2017 in the 250 class, so he knows what he's doing. He did incredible in Super Motocross overall, the SMX rounds last year. He's a vet. He was using his vet knowledge. He looked comfy. He was using clever line choices and jump lines. Wasn't riding over his head. He just overall looked good, looked clean. I was pretty impressed with this guy. He did make a couple small mistakes, one of them being hitting a tough block. I'll put that footage up on screen. It wasn't in his control. He obviously came into the whoops and didn't see it at the end. It was just past the final whoop. So he just hit it gently, rolled over it, no big deal. On to second place for the first qualification in the 250 class, we had RJ Hampshire. Again, he looked really good. This is like classic RJ, like on the edge. That's what he looked like. He was like on the edge of crashing, but not super duper RJ riding. You know how RJ is. He's an incredible rider, wicked fast, but he always rides the line and sometimes crosses it. Well, he looked like he was just on the edge of the line. He wasn't riding the line, but on the edge of the line. He wasn't riding over his head visibly. He made a couple minor mistakes, but overall nothing special, just a comfortable looking RJ. In third place, we had Joe Shimoda. I think he climbed to third very late into qualifying. He struggled early. I think the first time I saw him, he was like 8th or 9th place, so I was pretty disappointed in that, but he got better with time. Maybe he needed to just get comfortable, or I don't know. They didn't really show him a lot on TV, but in the time they did show him on the qualification, he didn't look the fastest. He just looked like he had the most clever line choices and was smooth. So that was overall good. Hopefully we see Joe stay consistent from the beginning of the year, and maybe he can actually stay in the title fight year round. That's always a struggle. All right, on to the 450 class. The first 450 qualification, Jett Lawrence came out on top. We all figured this was going to happen. It wasn't really a super surprise by any means, but yeah, he was super fast, super smooth. Through the whoops, he kept making mistakes. I think I have a clip of that, but it was over and over again. I thought he was kind of pushing through there. Maybe he had a uncomfortable suspension setup, but other than the whoops, he just looked comfortable everywhere, typical Jett style. Second place was actually a late move into second place. I think it was the last couple laps he got up to second. It was Cooper Webb. This is a big surprise to me because in Paris Supercross, he got beat by like Cedric Subaris, who on the scale of American Supercross is nobody. I mean, he's good, but on our scale, he maybe top 20 guy. So Webb couldn't even beat him in Paris. I was kind of worried about him on Star, but he stepped it up. He looked super smooth in qualifying. Very few mistakes. Looked like he was comfortable on the track and with his bike. He looked one with the bike. It looked like the old Cooper Webb, so that was a good start to the day for him. And in third place in the first qualifying session, we had Chase Sexton. He actually started first. Originally, I think had a Jett, but fell down to second, and then the last couple laps fell to third. But he looked surprisingly good on the bike. He always looked on the edge of losing the front end. Like he always took the front end on the Honda. He always looked on the edge when he was on Honda. On this, he looks one with the bike, very smooth. There were no crashes, no front end tucks. Overall, a very good look at Sexton. Hopefully he can keep this consistency throughout the day because he's looking pretty good on that new KTM. Now I've got a couple honorable mentions in here. Malcolm Stewart, he did crash. I'll throw that up on screen right now. Nothing major, but it is a potential sign that he was riding over his head. And then I also wanted to mention that Eli Tomac barely made the top 10, so that's very uncharacteristic of him. Maybe he's still out of shape a little bit. Who knows? All right, I won't normally talk about the B sessions because typically there aren't many prominent characters in it, but this weekend we had Jorge Prado, the MXGP World Champion, and Vince Friese in there, so I figured I'd talk about that. To start off, Friese pulled off the fastest lap time in that session. Prado quickly one-upped him and actually ended up beating him by I think a second, maybe a second and a half. I don't remember the exact number, but they both separated themselves from third place finisher Derek Drake. He was a little bit off pace from them, but not too far. Everyone after that was very off pace compared to the top three. But anyway, Prado and Friese were running about the same lap times as Tomac, Barcia, and Malcolm Stewart. So that's pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed by Prado and looking forward to the battles that Friese's going to have in there. We all know that's always fun. All right, again, I'm going to have another odd mention of the B session, this time for 250 class. Julien Beaumer, the rookie KTM rider, he pulled off the fastest 250 class time overall in the B qualifier, and he ended up being faster than everyone else in the B class by a few seconds. So he was surprisingly smooth and very consistent lap time wise. He put them down one after another, barely making any mistakes, so that was pretty cool to see. All right, let's now take a look at the overall sessions. This just finished like maybe a half hour before recording this video. I just watched all this and wrote my notes down. So Levi Kitchen came out swinging in the overall qualification race. He just looked very, very smooth, very different from the first qualification session. He just looks one with the bike, and he was one of the guys rumored in the offseason to be very fast. That's what everyone said, very fast in the offseason. So the chef was cooking in this one. Second place again, RJ Hampshire. He remained the same from the first quali, just very smooth, few mistakes, kept one-upping himself, and whenever anyone else did, he one-upped it again. He just couldn't make it to that first place position, but RJ's looking really good. Hopefully he can keep it on two wheels. And in third place, Joe Shimoda. He followed suit, starting off a little off compared to the rest, but quickly made his way back up to third overall, so looking forward to see how Joe can do it in the races on that new Honda. I typically won't talk about the fourth place finish for the qualifications, but this is an honorable mention. Julien Beaumer, he had the fastest overall originally from the B session. He ended up falling to fourth overall. That's really impressive from that kid, so overall that was pretty awesome to see. Good luck to Beaumer tonight. All right, on to the 450 class overall qualifying session. Of course, Jett Lawrence came out on top again. Jett doing Jett things. He had the overall, but had to try and one-up himself. Every lap, he would one-up himself a little bit here and there. And Sexton kept doing the same thing, following suit right there, right there. They were always just a little bit off from each other. Sexton couldn't manage to get over his lap time, but they were almost exact. Jett obviously got it, but Sexton, he started second. Finished second. He kept himself there the entire time. Like I said, every time Jett went up a lap time, so did he. The only mistake he made was one stall. It looked like that was going to be the fastest lap time for him too, so he could have beat Lawrence's time, but he stalled the bike. So that sucked to see, but overall I think Sexton is faster than he was in 2023 for sure, so this is going to be an interesting one. He ended up finishing 0.04 seconds behind Jett's lap time. Pretty impressive. All right, in third place overall, star Yamaha rider Cooper Webb. This looks like the champion level Webb we had before. Honestly, I couldn't believe the difference from his performance in Paris Supercross to today in qualifying. Obviously, it's not a race, just qualifying, but he looks really consistent. It's pretty cool to see. He's back, it looks like. I mean, he finished 0.04 seconds behind Jett, so that's only 0.08 second difference between first and third place. Pretty impressive. I'm looking forward to see what these guys have in the main event. All right, that's all I have for this qualification report of Anaheim 1 2024. Levi Kitchen and Jett Lawrence on top. Let's see what they can do in a couple hours. Thank you for watching.